Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'll be showing you how to cycle from Holborn in central London to Angel in North London. This ride takes about 10 minutes and you can do the whole thing on quiet streets and protected cycle lanes. By public transport, the same journey takes 15 to 20 minutes, so cycling is the fastest way to make this trip. If you find this video useful or you just enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post new videos just like it every week. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to contribute as well, then you can find a link in the description below the video. Alright, let's get going. So we're starting at the junction of High Holborn and Grazing Road, and we're going to head straight down Grazing Road. There are protected cycle lanes down most of this street which were installed by Camden Council a couple of years ago. You can usually find them on both sides of the street, although when I came here there was some building work which had closed the other direction, although it doesn't actually affect our journey. They make this a really easy place to cycle, although they are a little bit on the narrow side, which can make it tricky to overtake when it's busy, say at rush hour. Camden tends to upgrade its cycle tracks as it goes, and it would be great to see these turned into step tracks to make better use of the width. This is the junction with Theobald's Road, and there's a really obvious way to improve it, and that would be to remove this parking space ahead here. It creates a pinch point and makes a swerve into traffic, and as you can see from that van, it's not always a pleasant experience. Overall though, the cycle lanes do a really good job, and it's a testament to Camden, which does do a really good job of putting protected lanes down its main roads, probably better than any other inner London borough, I would say. Note the bus stops here, by the way, with the little zebra crossing. Make sure you give way to anybody crossing or looking like they might want to cross to get the bus. That sort of bypass design of bus stop is really good for us on a bike, because it means that we don't have to overtake stop buses. But I think cyclists do have a responsibility to be courteous to anyone trying to use the bus stop on foot. We want to turn right here, and fortunately there's plenty of space in the track for us to wait for a gap in the traffic and head down Wren Street. Wren Street is dead quiet. It's basically a cul-de-sac and it doesn't really go anywhere for motor traffic. We want to go right to the end and then turn right. And if you cycle regularly in London, you will recognise this next bit, but you may not recognise it from this angle. We're actually crossing cycleway 6 here. That's the route through Clerkenwell and Blackfriars, but usually when I'm using it we're going sort of north-south. In this case we're going east-west. We haven't followed cycleway 6 though, we've turned off towards Angel. Keep an eye on those early start traffic lights for cycles. Normally you would go to the left of this sign, but when I came here there was a bit of building work going on, so we've had to bypass it and join the protected lane just here. When you're going up the hill on Marjorie Street, you have a protected lane like this, and on the downhill, you're just on the main carriageway with the other vehicles, though it isn't particularly busy, so I don't think you really have to worry either way. It's certainly nice having the protection on the uphill, so you can take your time if you're going at your own pace. When you get to the top of this hill, you want to turn left onto Amwell Street, which is just here. Amwell Street is a bit of a missing link in the cycle network, I think. It's not totally quiet and you can get a bit of traffic on here at rush hour. It is very wide and it already has painted cycle lanes, so it would make sense to add a bit of protection onto them as well. Either that or put a filter. Fortunately, we're not on here for very long and we quickly turn off onto River Street. This is named after the New River, which is not particularly new anymore. It opened in 1613. And some would say it's not a river either, as it is a man-made waterway, which we usually call a canal. But that is above my pay grade. Incidentally, I got that fact from one of my favourite pages on Wikipedia, which is Etymology of Street Names in Clerkenwell and Finsbury. That is a very specific topic for a Wikipedia page, and it's certainly very helpful for me. And don't worry, I did check the source before putting it in the video. We're now coming to a series of crossings over various streets. The first is St John's Street, and we'll also go over Goswell Road and City Road. Now, 3 crossings in one go sounds like a recipe for a long wait, but actually In my experience, the timings on these crossings are actually pretty good, and you don't usually have to wait for a particularly long time, especially in this direction, as the lights tend to turn green in the right order as you approach them. You can see I didn't even have to cut that one, and I don't think I have to cut this one either. It just turns green for us, which is really quite nice. I'm not sure whether you have to press that button or not that the guy pushed to make it work, but you may as well give it a go if you have the time. We're now in a low traffic neighbourhood that was put in by Islington Council in 2020. It's called the St Peters LTN, and as you can see, it's removed all through traffic from the area and created really nice cycling conditions. The new river I mentioned, by the way, is running underneath that garden to our left. In fact, we're actually about to go over it now. Some of the new river is above ground, but some of it is actually underground in a pipe now. We're now going up Duncan Street, which is part of the LTN, but it's also completely closed to traffic at peak times as it is a school street. I'll talk a bit more about those in future videos, I think. Note the lane on the right there, by the way, so if you want to go in the opposite direction, you can go down that contraflow. Although there isn't a contraflow on this section, so I've dismounted and I'm just going to wheel my bike onto the pavement here and show you where we are. We're at Upper Street here, so I think it's fair to say that this is Angel. We're just around the corner from Angel Tube Station. So I think it's fair to say that we are here. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. It is quite a short one, but it's also quite central, which is something I think I don't do enough on this channel, as you know, I like to go out into the suburbs and explore the different bits of infrastructure that maybe not everyone's seen. But I do sometimes forget that, well, everyone or nearly everybody in London likes to come into the centre. There's a lot of people who want to see how to get around central London. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about more central videos, less central videos. And also if you've got any ideas of places that you'd like to see, let me know. A few housekeeping bits. As always, you can download the map of the route that you are seeing on your screen right now in a GPX file, which will work on whatever app or device you choose to use. You can get to that file by clicking on the link in the description below the video. In the description, you can also find a link to the Patreon if you are feeling generous and wish to support the channel. Thank you again so much to those of you who do. You are fantastic. And if you're listening this far and you haven't already, you should totally hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything. All it does is alert you to new videos when they're posted. And if you enjoy the content, why wouldn't you do that? It just makes sense. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.